Hitting more than a year after launch, the big patch that coincided with the release of Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath is exactly the kind of shot in the arm that MK11 needs to keep going strong in its second year. There are new stages, friendships for every character, a plethora of big-time balance changes that shake up the meta, stage fatalities, quality of life improvements, and more. The best part is, all of that is free. You don't need the $40 Aftermath expansion to experience any of it, which makes the value of the actual expansion itself a bit questionable. Don't get me wrong, what little content Aftermath offers is great. The 3-hour campaign is a worthy epilogue to the main Mortal Kombat 11 story, and the trio of new characters, Fujin, Shiva, and Robocop, are all interesting in their own ways, though some are more interesting than others. But no matter how you slice it, there's just not much meat on Aftermath's bones when you compare it to most expansions. Aftermath's campaign picks up right where Mortal Kombat 11 leaves off, and takes us on a predictable but enjoyable and action-packed side story that inserts all of the non-guest DLC characters. Easily the best part of the whole Aftermath campaign is actor Cary-Hiroyuki Tagawa as Shang Tsung, who, along with stealing souls, also steals every single scene that he's in.
Then trust that we have a shared interest in breaking Chronica's stranglehold on our destiny.
It should be obvious to any MK fan that Shang Tsung is not to be trusted, but the way Tagawa and the writing plays with that expectation is delightful. Few characters are as smug and smarmy as Shang Tsung, and Tagawa is able to convey that masterfully not just with his voice, but also one of the best shit-eating grins I have ever seen. Apart from Tagawa's performance, everything else is business as usual for NetherRealm story mode, with the exception of it being over in just about 3 hours or so. There's tons of well-choreographed fight scenes, smart integration of gameplay that forces you to learn characters that you might otherwise not play, and a couple of head-scratching moments of questionable logic as Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, and Fujin attempt to pull off a time travel heist. Still, if you're able to turn your brain off and just enjoy the ride it takes you on, Aftermath's campaign is a good time for as long as it lasts. In addition to serving a mini-campaign, Aftermath also doubles as a mini-character pack. The 3 characters it adds to the roster are Fujin, the God of Wind, making his first appearance in a Mortal Kombat game since Mortal Kombat Armageddon 14 years ago, Shiva, the 4-armed Shokan Queen, last playable in Mortal Kombat 9 in 2011, and Robocop, whose voice and facial capture, when you do actually see his face, is actually performed by the man himself, Peter Weller.
The Robocop program, Phase 2.
Robocop is no doubt the most prolific of the pack, but unfortunately he's also the least interesting fighter. His basic moveset feels very plain, just about every special move he has feels like it's been done before, and overall his playstyle just isn't one that's very fun to play. That said, he's a very effective zoner, with what is probably the best low projectile in MK11, so if you like characters that hang back and bombard your opponents with a constant barrage of bullets, bombs, and missiles, Robocop was custom made for you. Shiva, on the other hand, is a blast. She's an absolute bruiser with extremely satisfying combos that make me feel like I've hit my opponent 1,000 times by the time I'm done. She's a close-range powerhouse with a nice variety of playstyles in her 3 competitive variations. Her first variation gives her the ability to alter the landing spot of her iconic teleport stomp for some risky mind games. The second focuses almost entirely on combo damage, and the third is a mix-up machine with overheads, lows, and command grabs. In stark contrast to Robocop, virtually everything that Fujin does is completely unique to him. Nothing about him is conventional, from his ability to run on air, to his weird launching tornado that requires you to actually manually direct it, to his unique slide that can be used to slip under projectiles and either start a combo or hit with an extremely satisfying crushing blow. It's kind of a bummer that currently the only way to get any of them is to buy the $40 Aftermath package, whereas all the other DLC characters are available for $6 a piece. Hopefully, somewhere down the line, NetherRealm will offer the option to buy these characters a la carte, or at the very least as part of a new, reasonably priced combat pack separate from the Aftermath campaign, because Shiva and Fujin especially are great additions to the roster. Even Robocop, despite being a bit boring to play, is still fun to see in action. Aftermath feels like 2 disparate DLC packs fused together into one. a short but sweet single-player expansion with a scene-stealing Shang Tsung, and half of a combat pack worth of characters. Two of those three characters, Fujin and Shiva, are excellent, distinctive fighters, while Robocop is just okay due to his derivative moveset. He looks and sounds awesome at least. Alone and appropriately priced, these two pieces of DLC would be great. Bundled together at a steep $40 though, Aftermath is a harder recommendation. For more Mortal Kombat Aftermath, check out the first minutes of the game, along with every friendship in the new patch. And for everything else, keep it here on IGN.
You cannot stop the wind.
Fujin wins.
The biggest gaming event of the year is IGN's Summer of Gaming, and it's almost here. Tune in beginning Thursday, June 4th to see the latest and greatest in game reveals, news, trailers, next-gen coverage, and more. And on June 5th, we kick off our first ever Ign Expo, where you'll get first looks at world premiere game trailers, exclusive game demos, and interviews you won't find anywhere else. IGN's Summer of Gaming, only on IGN and IGN One on your Samsung TV Plus.